Hello and welcome to this overview slash tutorial for my product, the cemetery pack. This asset pack contains everything that you should or should not need to build a practical cemetery. It's fairly realistic, so let's see if this is what you would like to purchase. Also, I should mention that everything here was made from scratch, so nothing is actually 3D scanned. So that's why I'm saying maybe you'd like it, maybe you won't, because it's not completely photorealistic. I obviously did my best effort, but obviously there is like a little bit of a gap between what's possible, creating everything from scratch and what you would actually get if you actually uh, took something and simply 3D scanned it, because it's capturing detail that you can't simply just create from scratch, right? So without further ado, let's dive right in. First of all, excuse me, first of all, you'll notice that the folders are extremely colorful, and that is because everything is color coded, and each color corresponds to the color of the type of file in Unreal Engine. As you know, Unreal Engine color codes as well, so why shouldn't I? And I started doing it just so my file system is prettier, but then I realized that it's way easier to navigate through my file system when everything is color coded. So when everything is actually just gray, it's kind of like here. You obviously cannot color code these guys, and it's kind of hard. Where are the blueprints? Where are the text? Well, you wouldn't see texture here, but where are the blueprints, or where are the meshes, so on and so forth? It's all gray, and you actually have to come here and read. And oh, okay, so this has a little house, blah blah blah. It's easier to just see the color immediately. Anyway, that's beyond the point. So this is really, it has a lot of assets, but the level itself, it's fairly small. So the overview is going to be fairly short. But yeah, we may take a little while explaining other things that actually are here in this asset pack. So without further ado, let's begin. So first of all, we have a bunch of what do you call these things? Tombstones. So each tombstone is actually, they are, as you can see, I selected one and everything was selected. Well, turns out they are all, I am using them as foliage, so it's basically just another grass. I didn't want to use them like individually, just because foliage renders easier. And you can see it's fairly high, the actual frame rate, even though we have a metric ton of polygons in here. I don't know how many, I don't know how to check, because I'm not that proficient in Unreal Engine. But yeah, there is a ton of polygons. So yeah, there is several kinds of tombstones, and we are going to be looking at them in just a little bit. But for now, just know that you do have a large variety of tombstones, right? the sky is also illuminated. I did not, to not take full credit for this whole thing, I did not make the sky. It's the one that came with the engine. I just edited it. I edited the sky to look the way I need it, and it's very, very heavily edited, but I did not create this this shader from scratch, unfortunately. Credit where credit's due. This shader was created by the nice folks at Unreal Engine. So there is also very, very nice what do you call this thing? A fence? No, I wouldn't call it a fence. You know, a wall around the cemetery. So that's made out of meshes. There is foliage such as trees. There is also a bunch of grass, types of grass as well, because there is more than one type of grass, and we'll look at that in time. But for now, just know that there is grass. There is also lights. There is lights, and we can actually turn them on and off. Really cool. And some of these lights do come with these nice guys. Really, really cool. It just adds that one layer of realism that looks so freaking cool. What else? There's all kinds of weeds as well. There are several types of weeds actually that add to that abandoned feel to this thing. Unfortunately, the grass that comes with this cemetery is it's just yellowed grass, so it's just dead grass. If you would like to have green grass and less yellowed weeds, because this one is almost dried grass. Well, the grass is already dried, but the weeds are already dried. Just let me know in the comments down below, and I will make sure I will take that into account for the next update for this thing. I don't think I will be updating this particular Unreal Engine asset pack, because I very recently actually updated it, and I added this really cool fog, this really cool particle fog effect that we added here. I don't think, unless it really sells very well in the next few in the next few months. Okay, let's say weeks, just in case you really want something really cool. And if this Unreal Engine asset pack sells well in the next few weeks or months, I am going to add a bunch of new stuff that, if you comment down below in the comments, I will take into account whatever you tell me to, like, okay, so I want a cremation furnace. Okay, cool. Can you provide me with, like some kind of picture or, an idea? Like right now, everything here is from a particular time period. Like, obviously, some of these gravestones look borderline medieval, but I am willing to add something, from that time period. I don't want to run out of like add something too new, because obviously it will clash with this unless there is too many asking for it. So if like you guys want like a modern cremation furnace, and there's like 50 people asking for it, and there's 50 people actually buying this thing, obviously I will create something. But for now, I am going to be focusing into different asset packs, because I'm working. First of all, I am working on an asset pack. I don't want to reveal anything, so I'm just not going to. I'm just not going to say anything. But if I finish it anytime soon, it will synergize with this particular asset pack. So enough said. I'm not going to say more. If I finish it, and if I finish it soon-ish enough, it will synergize with this asset pack, and you're gonna love it. But for now, let's just yeah, I'm working on a lot of things right now, so I don't think, unless, like I said, if this thing sells very well, I am definitely going to be adding new things to it. But in the meantime, let's just move on. There is also iron fences. There's a lot of iron fencing everywhere. And you'll be surprised to see how many styles of iron fencing there are, excuse me, here. Like there is also these short ones, there is these there's these big ones, there's these ones that come on the stone, what do you call these things? Stone walls? I wouldn't call them walls, because they aren't walls really. Anyway, yeah, let's just move on. So there is several, like I said, several types of gravestones. In this particular Unreal Asset Pack, we do have some virtual textures. So not only are the trees blended with PDO, as you can see, there's some very nice PDO. They are also blended with virtual textures. So yeah, super nice. That's one of my favorite things about this asset pack. And everything in this particular world, not world, what would you call it? Stage, level, yeah, let's call it a level. Everything is blended, like with, it's self-contained, let's just say. So, obviously there is, I think, an invisible wall here. Yeah, there you go. A blocking volume is called in game, excuse me, in the engine. I like to call it the invisible wall. There's also a bunch of these guys. But there isn't too much to choose from. There is like 4 of these guys, 4 floor tiles, but that's about it. That's all you get. Oh, and actually there is also this kind of floor, but this is the texture. These are geometry, excuse me. Now, we also have these guys, and these are actually completely modular, but they are not as flexible as other stuff that I've made. Like, for example, the Japanese asset pack, which you should check it out. That's another asset pack I made. It's a little less realistic than this one. This one is definitely far more realistic, or rather photorealistic. Unfortunately, these and this asset pack, it does have some very heavy duty textures, not textures, shaders. So if we look at it from this point of view, there is a lot of very heavy duty materials, and I tried to make them as, you know, as friendly as possible. So if you walk far enough, they stop being the expensive version. So if you get them far enough, they turn into the cheap version, because you cannot appreciate it anymore. They are only expensive if you are close enough. So just the closest, the closest. Oh my god, my eyes! The closest LODs. Those are the ones that you'll be seeing. But as soon as you see, you can't even tell. It already changed over there. But anyway, yeah. It's the materials are a little bit expensive, like I said, but I feel like my honest opinion is that it's so much worth it, because it has such cool effects. Like, for example, the windows and the glass. The glass looks super fantastic. There is no refraction. However, there is some fogging and some really cool effects. And I'll show you a little bit later some options that you have with the not so much with the materials, but with the lighting. But for now, just know that they exist. There is some options. There's also these really cool railings. But since we are at it and we can see it, there's also very, very nice selection of decals, and this is one of them. So there's bird poop, there is all kinds of dirt, leaks, you name it. You'll see it in a little bit. What the stuff that we have in store for you, but for now, just know that there's some really beautiful decals for you to use. There is some very beautiful destruction too. There's some very, very, very nice destruction. We are going to be looking at it in just a little bit when we take a look at the actual static meshes that we have. There is some broken stuff. It's very, very, very nice. There's a lot of broken tombstones as well. We are going to be looking at them. There is also, check it out. Check this out. There is also ivy. There's all kinds of ivy, and we're going to be looking at those a little bit later, because here I'm not even using a fraction of my power, because my power is over 9. I'm kidding. Yeah, so I'm not even using a fraction of what's in this asset pack. You're going to see it in just a little bit, but for now, just know that it is there and it does exist. In this case, actually, the doors are automatic, so we don't actually have they don't activate with E, so they activate as soon it's a proximity sensor, let's just say, kind of a little bit annoying how they function. But yeah, the walls are actually a little bit too expensive. They are unfortunately, as you can see, not completely green. They are going a little bit nuts because they do feature some very nice height maps. There's some PDO there, pixel displacement, offset. So unfortunately, that's where they are getting a little bit of a heavy treatment. So actually, okay, I'm sorry, I have several languages on here, so I always constantly have to change them because my keyboard is actually American English. I speak with my friends in Mexican Spanish, and sometimes I write Japanese with a couple of Japanese friends. Anywho, moving on. Stat FPS. Okay, so looking at the FPS, you'll see that we are at a very comfortable level, but the reason why we are so let's just say messed up is because we have a ton of particles in here, and you'll see there's not only particles, these particles are actually super heavy. They are we're looking at a lot of translucent particles, and you can actually make them a little cheaper, but at the cost of appearances, the cost of looks. But I'll teach you how you can cheapen even further, like optimize rather even further these really nice particles. And yeah, for now let's just move on and notice that we also have these beautiful statues which you cannot see, but yeah, there is a Mother Mary. There is some weird messed up looking padre, and there is a couple of anthropomorphic statues. Actually, there is somewhere, oh there it is, there is a cherub, I don't know how to pronounce that word, cherub. There's a cherub there with a creepy smile. It's all supposed to be for horror, by the way. You can actually use this asset pack for any kind of cemetery that you have in your game, but I made it specifically for horror, so everything it looks bleak and horror-like. So yeah, just, you know, I'm just saying. But again, they are not so inherently horror-like that you wouldn't be able to use them in something that is non-horror. But for now, let's just move on. So, right, we do have some medieval-looking doors. We don't have like anything modern. So everything is very Victorian-like, and that's because everything is based on Victorian cemeteries, right? Let's just move on. There is two crypts. Obviously, they both share the external stuff, but the interior is kind of a little bit. And by the way, there is some. These are actually these are nice decals. They look realistic enough. Let's just say they look realistic enough, but Actually, I have a even more realistic alternative, but it was already like crushing the frame rate way too low. We're already like bordering unplayable territory, or at least unplayable for some people. Like some people told me like if it goes below 60 frames per second, the game is unplayable. For me, like I'm used to have a crappy computer. Uh, for me, anything below 30 frames per second is unplayable. 60 frames per second is absolutely fine. 60 frames per second is just peachy. But since that person told me that, I usually try to keep my games at 120 frames per second. So yeah, this asset pack for me personally is a little bit too slow, and that is because there is just a ton of particles in here. There is the particles that make up these leaves. There's the particles that make where is it? These moths around the lamps. There's also particles. There's more particles here where the leaves are. And there is particles here inside this thing. Each candle is, even though a very small very small system, it's just two particles constantly coming out. Even though there is only two particles, there is two particles that they are coming out constantly, and there are several candles. So yeah, that adds up to this frame rate. Plus, if we look at the shader complexity, we'll see that we have some shader complexity on the candles, and every single one of these let me show you. Every single one of these trees, every single one of these glass things, inside here there is a candle. That candle has some as you can see, some shader complexity. There is a lot of PDO in there. The floor has complexity because it's virtual texture, so that is a little bit. Oh my god, I got stuck. That's yeah. So that's a little bit. Jesus Christ, my poor eyes. Yeah, so that is a little bit heavy on the processor, or the GPU rather. That's, you can't. I don't think you can see, but the little cobwebs, those also have some level of shader complexity because they are using translucency. But again, without those effects, they wouldn't look as cool. So, you know, I'll give you some options after, you know, when we get to that point, when we start to look at the materials. But for now, just know that you do have options. It doesn't have to be like low frame rate. You just have to sacrifice, unfortunately. You just have to sacrifice some things. Right now, for this particular demo, I try to make everything as cool looking as possible. So it's as beautiful as possible. Even those flowers, I think they are a little bit, yeah, see? There's some stuff. Right. And here we have some invisible. But yeah, that's what's up. There's also these little crypts, which I actually wanted to make even more crypts, because I was looking at the reference material, because I found a lot of reference for the. By the way, I just recorded the Japanese asset pack. I'm probably going to release this thing one day after the Japanese asset pack video. So if you are a fan of the channel, or if you have already watched that one, you know that I was saying there that I couldn't actually find a lot of reference pictures for many of the things, so I had to like basically just cheat and not use like actual Japanese assets. I was like very upset because of that, because I couldn't. And for this one, I found a surplus of pictures. I found a lot of pictures. Like I was able to find lots of really nice pictures of guano, for example, guano on graves. And this, believe it or not, looks super realistic. Plus, we have here in this town, we have a very similar cemetery that looks very similar to this, and I have been there. I have been there with. I used to go there with friends. I used to be one of those goth kids who used to hang out at cemeteries. And holy shit! Excuse me, pardon my French. I really did find like this asset pack super nice, because I immediately got like this. I knew exactly what I was doing, because I already had seen this type of things in real life, because that cemetery had lots of graves from the Victorian period, even though we are not in, or I am not in Victorian period. Excuse me, what? No, even though I am not in England, where the Victorian period took place, because, you know, it's Victorian because of Queen Victoria from England. I am in Mexico. But yeah, there is a lot of Victorian style and Victorian period graves there. And I know exactly what they look like. I know even what they smell like. So being here in this cemetery, it's kind of like that musty smell that that you'll find in those cemeteries. I can almost smell it, because I got it to a certain level of realism. I was able to get it to a fairly close point where I got it to a certain level of realism that I am actually very proud of. I am super proud of. Even the crypts, to me at least, they look very realistic. And while I was doing research for this asset pack, I found lots and lots of real life pictures of cemeteries that I really wanted to use, but I had already spent a long time working on these assets. So yeah, that stuff was going to you'll see how many assets we actually have in this asset pack, but yeah, it was a long time, and I did want to make some more types of walls, and some more types of these guys. What do you call them? Some more types of crypts. But also I had a very limited time to work with this, because I can take just forever on this stuff, because I have more asset packs to work on, and I don't really know which ones are going to sell. So if you want to see more of this stuff in this particular asset pack, first of all, do purchase it. Also, leave a comment down below, and I will be looking both the purchases and at the comments down below for what people actually want to see in this thing. And if you purchase it at, I think this one is 90 bucks, 90 American dollars. If you actually purchase it, I will definitely be working on an update, and if the update has lots and lots and lots and lots of items and new assets, I may raise the price, so it will not be 90 bucks anymore. It may I mean, depending, if like for example I didn't raise the price because I put the freaking fog in there, obviously it's just, you know, that would be a ripoff. But if I like double the number of gravestones, if I double the number of, no, actually that would also be a ripoff, like just one crypt. But if I make, like, I don't know, 10 or 15 crypts, different crypts, that may actually raise the price. And if you already have it, you will be getting all those things for free. So just saying, I'm not trying to upsell you anything. I'm just saying fair's fair. If you, you know, if you put money in my pocket, least I can do is be grateful and create more assets. If it doesn't sell too much, I see no, you know, I shouldn't really invest my time into this thing, because obviously, you know, I should invest my time in what you know, gives me money, because obviously I have to pay bills, I have to pay the maintenance on my computer, and when the Unreal Engine 6, not 6, yeah, 6, when Unreal Engine 6 drops, I'm probably not gonna be able to run it on this computer. I'm going to have to buy a new one, and that costs money. And unfortunately, I cannot do anything without money, which kind of sucks. I wish people gave me away computers, but yeah, that doesn't happen. Anyway, let's go to the overview level that comes with this asset pack, and let's take a look at what's in the actual asset pack. Alright, so here we are at the wonderful overview level. And what's in this asset pack? So, holy crap, I don't even know where to begin. We have so much stuff to go through. Okay, so let's start first with the types of grounds that we have in this asset pack, and we have quite a few, which it's not that many, but once you're using them, they are super freaking helpful. So we have just bare ground, we have ground with forest debris, we also have ground with mild forest debris, so there is some little pieces of grass, like strands of grass, unlike here where we can find all kinds of forest debris. I call it forest debris because that's what you would find in a forest, but in this case it plays very well around those trees, which we'll be looking at them in just a little bit when we get there. But yeah, we do have a bunch of those little tiny twigs that fall off the trees, and that gives it that one little layer of realism. Actually, in the portion of this tutorial where we are going to be looking at how to use these these dirt and grounds. I'll be showing you how to paint those areas and which ones are going to be used where. But for now, just know that they exist and they are part of this thing. Since we are already here and we are looking at grounds, we also have marble floors, and we have 3 of them. These, unfortunately, they are not procedural, so you cannot change the color of this wonderful floor. They are just 3 different textures. So I don't know what kind of floor you're going to be using in your crypt, but there are 3 of them. There is black, there is green, and there is red, which are the 3 colors of marble that I could find. There's also that yellowish one, but yeah. I'm not going to make every single type of marble here. I'm just using the most common ones that are used in marble floors. Moving on, we also have a bunch of tools and accessories. Again, if you like this asset pack and you would like to buy it, if there is enough people buying this thing, I am obviously going to be adding more tools and accessories. So leave your comment down below and let me know what kind of accessories would you like to see. For now, we're just going to having these ones, which are not 2 but 1. Actually, no, there is 2. No, actually there's 1. Huh? I'm sorry about that. I was lying. But yeah, you can turn it on and off, I think. Or can you? I think no, you can't actually. Some of these guys, some of these lamps. Oh, no, you can actually enable it. Okay, so where is it? Collision, visible, cast shadows. I don't know where it is. Oh, of course. I'm sorry about that. I'm a little slow. Okay, so yeah, you can turn it on and off at will. Really cool. And there is one version that is just the very simple what do you call this thing? Static mesh, which is the same as if you only had this thing turned off. But yeah, there is pickaxe, there is a shovel, obviously stuff that you would see at a cemetery, and there is a huge amount of light thingies. So obviously, if you want more variety of candles, I actually am selling a candle pack that you can also purchase at my Unreal store, and also on Real Marketplace. I may be, if I remember, I will be linking it in the description of this video, if I remember. But again, if there is enough people purchasing this asset pack, I am going to actually be including that candle pack with this asset pack. So like, subscribe, and actually purchase this asset pack. And if I see enough people who actually own it, I am going to be adding this the candle pack together with this asset pack, and you will be actually getting it for free, because I will be adding it to the as an update, as a new version of this thing. Let's just move on. There is 2 types, count them well, 2 types of lighting when it comes to these lanterns. There is actually, you cannot see it very well actually, but there is electric, and there is this thing, it's not electric, like analog. There is these guys, insects. There is I call them supporting particle systems. So this is a particle system, the little moths. There is also a bunch of leaves flying everywhere. There's leaves flying everywhere. And I think I'm not showing it well here, actually. Yeah, I forgot to put it here. But there is also a fog. There's a fog particle system that looks super realistic and really, really nice. But, right, we're looking at the lamps. So there is lamp poles. I think there is a couple of those. In fact, let me check it out. Oh, actually there is only one, but there is two of these. These, we do have two of them. Just for sake of realism, if you have two of them close by, so they just don't look too repetitive. Like, for example, these guys, we usually have them in pairs, you know, or one of them on each side of the of an entrance. So yeah, these look super fantastic together. But if we have two of the same, they kind of look a little bit repetitive. Even if you mirror one of them, they still look a little bit too repetitive. So I decided to actually add a second one, just so they don't look that much. And these ones, these aren't going to be that close to each other, so you can just rotate them and get a different kind of feel, right? So here for the I know these should be near the windows, which are all the way over there, but these guys, we have actually two methods. So method number one is what you already saw, which are these guys, and method number two is actually a little bit more ingenious. It's actually a light. However, each one of these is a movable light with a one of these light functions. So they are fairly heavy. Like, they are if you have a lot of other stuff in your, like in that other level, we had other stuff, like for example there was a ton of a ton of polygons. There was a ton of other stuff that was there, and that actually dragged the FPS way down. So if you find a way of having, you know, that kind of stuff there, this look fairly more interesting and more realistic than these guys. However, these ones are way cheaper because these are just decals. These are actually 3 lights. Count them well. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, I'm kidding. So yeah, you have 3 of them, red, green, and blue, to create this color effect, which looks, you know, credit with credit's due. It does look really, really cool and far more realistic than the decals, but the decals are way cheaper. Anyway, that's enough ranting. We also have very nice torches, because you couldn't have an ancient looking kind of asset pack without torches. So there's torches, right? Really cool. There are several types of floors, like I said, or rather there's all the same 4 ones, but they also come in different types. So there's ones that come in platforms with actual roofs. There's ones that come just without any actually, let me make the floor hide the floor, right? So right, so these ones don't have anything underneath. These ones neither. but these ones are just platforms. These ones have like sides. So yeah, it depends on what you want to use them for. We also have walls, but not as many as I wish we had. So we only have realistically just these, the ones I am actually selecting right now. That's all the walls we have, and these ones are just there to show off the variants with ivy vines, which, provided they are actually merged, but still they are the exact same as these ones. So they are just there to look cool, basically. And there is some. Oh no, actually, no, never mind. But yeah, they are actually merged to the walls. Anywho, moving on. So yeah, we have very few variants of walls, but at least there is options. Like there is 2, so there is not too much repetition. And actually, I'm not sure if we can actually, if that does anything. Yeah, so you can actually, since there is no outside or inside, they look the exact, well, quote unquote, the exact same from in the inside or in the outside. So that adds a little bit more variation. So if you run out of, you have like 1 and 2, and then if you want to repeat it a third time, what you could actually do is just invert the thing, so it's all inside out, and do that for the next one. Oh my god, why is everyone bothering me today? Jesus Christ. Right, so yeah, there we go. Now we actually have, ta-da, right? Now we have 4 variations. That looks super fantastic. Now, for the cemetery gate and the doors, you actually have these guys. They do have certain degree of stuff. They are actually using child blueprint for the BP fence gate, which you will find fences and gates. You will find right here. So yeah, gate components actually. Yeah, so they do have very, very, very simple code. They are just going to be opening and closing on overlap. So there is an hitbox in there, and they will be opening and closing on overlap. But that's about it. You should. They are designed for you to add your own code. So I didn't. Well, at the time, I already knew how to make my own, but I just didn't. I don't know what are you going to use them for. Since then, I kind of decided to start adding a little bit more code to these things. So I don't know. Maybe in the next update, I still have a ton of stuff that I want to be working on. So I will be working on those things. But when I circle back to this one and I see how much it has been selling, I will definitely be adding actual open and close gates, like on pressing E. So I will be adding more complex blueprints to these asset packs. But for now, they are going to be super simple. So that's all there is for now. However, if these sell, I will definitely prioritize these guys and add some more cool stuff. Moving on, let's check out those gravestones we were talking about earlier. So I separated them in crosses, bed-like, because they kind of look like beds. Well, flat headstones is what they are called, but there's some broken ones, which are based on existing ones here. And we also have obelisk type, and we have statue type. So we have this very, very, very beautiful ones. And by the way, I'm fairly proud because these did not exist before I made them. So these are not 3D scans. These are just absolutely made from scratch. Even the texture, everything is made from scratch. I'm super proud of them. There's a pauper's grave. That's, again, if there's people purchasing this asset pack, I will definitely add more of these, because I really wanted to make a few more pauper's graves, but for now, that's the only one. There's this one as well with Celtic cross, or Celtic, I don't know how to pronounce that word. So these bed-like graves. There's broken ones, which that one corresponds to that one corresponds to that one to that one. And you could even actually take these and actually blow them up, I think. In fact, let me check it out. I don't think... Okay, so that one corresponds to that one. I'm sorry. And this one corresponds, I think, to that one. Yeah, so you could make them to blow them up. You could actually just blow them up. I'm not sure if they are using the same texture. No, they are not, actually. Well, yeah. Or are they? Actually, let me check them out. I need to compare. Where are they? Oh, there it is. Because I think they are using the same texture. Yes, they are. So yeah, you could actually blow them up. That would actually look cool. Like if you have effects where some of these get hurt, or an explosion or something like that, you could actually blow them up. Again, if there is more interest in this asset pack, I will definitely add more damaged gravestones. But for now, that's all there is. There is some obelisk headstones. Again, one of them is broken, which I think it's this one. No, it's actually this one. Can't get one right. Jesus. There is statue. There is this creepy as hell child. I bet you can't even tell I don't like children. There is an angel. This one is based upon one that I've seen in real life. I'm not going to dox the cemetery, but yeah, there is one. This one I actually made it up. So, yep. And there is variants with ivy vines, just like there is ivy vines for for walls. There's also ivy vines for gravestones, and unfortunately they do have a ton of polygons. I tried to optimize them as much as I could, and they do have fairly decent LOD levels, so they are very well optimized. However, they still do have a ton of a ton of polygons, and I tried to make them just with a single strand, you know, like just a tiny bit of texture and all that stuff. Didn't work. It just didn't look right. And then I did it just like to mock myself, you know, like that meme with the child doing the you know, the little face, and I did that like with the crappy vines, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute, that looks fantastic. And I decided to just leave it because it looked, at least to my eyes, it just looks so cool, so great. The dilapidation, I don't know what to call it, the dilapidation looks fantastic. There's some very nice foliage, but it's all old. So if you want me to add a whole new version of these guys, but in green, I will definitely do that. I've been wanting to add a green version and a died and a dead version. No thanks. And a dead version that will look super cool. So I wanted to make it. I actually worked on another asset pack where I have something like that, where the foliage actually dies, or it's, you know, dries up or gets alive procedurally. Like you can change the how dried it is through a slider, which is my dungeon pack, which you should check it out. Same, more or less the same style of time period than this thing, so you should check it out. And maybe if this sells well, this sells a little bit more than it's selling right now, I will add a slider for this one, for these ones. Obviously the price is going to go up, so you better secure a version right now. And I will definitely, and if you actually bought one and still there isn't enough people buying this thing, I'm very sorry, but you know, I have to go where the money goes. I have to pay bills, I have to buy food, I have to pay maintenance for my computer, which yeah, making these asset packs actually take a toll on my computer. So I need to buy replacement parts, so on and so forth. So there's also these guys. There is these guys as well. There is dry leaves, which I don't know if you can tell, but they are in fact, you can see them there. They are actually meshes. This could be actual, these guys could be actual just, what do you call those things? Sprites, but they do have a curvature to them. They do have a curvature to them, so unfortunately they had to be meshes, and that's where they are. So you can either have them like foliage, you can just spawn them as foliage, or you can put them in a particle system, which is what I did there, and they, you know, they should be flying. Next, we have trees. We have tons of trees. And they are all, by the way, they are all very well blended. You cannot see it here, but there's virtual textures, virtual texture support for these guys. And I'll show you a little bit of the innards of how they work. But for now, let's just, yeah, let's just look at these guys. Very nice. And I think this is one of my most realistic trees done so far. These look super fantastic when there is like the moonlight and all that kind of stuff. It really, really does make the difference. They all have a certain degree of... There's some with actual variants with moss. So there's some with moss and there's some without it. There's tree stumps. So maybe you have trees that got cut off. I don't have the actual felled tree, but I do have a bunch of tree stumps. I'm not sure I will be adding a felled tree because, yeah, these trees were a little bit of an annoyance to make, a little bit heavy on the time that took me to create them. But I'm not sure I want to make them. I'm not gonna promise anything. I do want to make different gravestones and different, you know, a little bit more architecture. So that's what I am going to be focusing on next time I work on this thing. There's a variation which you already saw. There's a variation with what do you call this thing? With ivy, just like walls, and there's even ivy for walls, which we are now going to look at. The walls. There is just one singular mini crypt, unfortunately. There is a normal wall, but these are division. So there is a little bit of a difference between these and those, and that's because the division walls both have bare what do you call this thing? Bare bricks. I wouldn't call them bricks, you know, cobblestone. They have bare cobblestone, right? Cobblestone on both sides, and these guys, they have cobblestone on one side, but on this side they do have some cement covering. I don't know what this is called. I know what it's called in Spanish, but I don't know what it's called in English. There is two types of windows. So there is this type, and there is, you know, the three clustered three ones and just one. They are both stained glass windows. There is only one stained glass. I'm fairly proud. Oh my god, I messed up. Hold on. There we go. I'm fairly proud of how these turned out, because these are really, really, really nice. Actually, let me showcase it a little bit more, because I'm very, very proud of this, of the work I did with this thing, because the texture is pretty decent. It's really, really nice. Like you can see the really cool. You can see the really cool relief on the. I don't know if you can see it. The normal map. There's actually no relief here, but there's some really nice normal map, and it looks, to my eyes at least, It looks really realistic. I really loved it. They're like the stained glass thing. And what makes me even more proud about this thing is that before this, I've never seen like a stained glass window that up close. And by the time I finished it, I actually went to a church, and they had very similar stained glass windows, and I was like, oh my god, this absolutely looks identical to the one I made for the cemetery pack. So yeah, I am extremely proud. And these are just fogged. There is no actual what do you call this thing? There is no actual oh my god, what's the word? There is no actual refraction. It's just all spiral glass. Excuse me, spiral blur. But it's still, you know, it looks really, really nice. I don't know why I love it so much. There's blind walls, no, blind doors. I don't know what these are called. I think it's blind doors. And I've seen these a lot in ancient, not ancient, in old-timey constructions, especially Victorian. When I was in England, there was lots of these things. So I decided to add one of these, and also blind windows. But these are specifically for these guys. So that's oops. So yeah, that's how you use them. That's a niche, basically. That's not a window. There is empty wall, so nothing there. There's a wall with a hole, which you already saw. There is just a window with no with nothing. And by the way, these ones are not breakable. I guess you could actually take it. Yeah, no, that's not gonna fly. But yeah, you can actually change that one because it's the same, basically just the same texture. So you could actually take that one and replace it with this one if it breaks. But there's nothing for that one. So yeah, it's not really breakable glass, unfortunately. But I will be adding that in the next update. Just not anytime soon, unfortunately. There is doors without door, but there's also doors with actual doors, and they are already put together in blueprints, so you can use that. There is arches, so there is one for that is divisory that happens inside this thing. There is arches without walls. There's two just for variation's sake. There's beams, you know, that you can use to change things. There is these guys for the top. There is roofs. And there is spires. I am going to be updating this one because I found out a lot of things that you could do, you know, in Unreal Engine. since then, so I'll be updating this one as soon as I get back to it. Obviously, if there is a large number of purchases on this particular asset pack, like I said, I will prioritize it, and I will definitely add a bunch of new stuff immediately. But for now, that's I do have plans, just not for now. Right now I am working on a different asset pack that you are going to love. It's going to. That's why I am recording this one, and I also recorded just 1 hour ago. I recorded one for the Japanese asset pack because I am working on something that will actually be fantastic with this and that one. So yeah. Keep an eye on my stuff, because yeah, a lot of cool stuff is coming. So like I said, there is several types of windows and doors, and some of these actually open, but for now the effect is just proximity sensor, basically just an overlap. They open an overlap. You may want to add your own code to it, but I was gonna say half of the work. I don't know, part of the work is already done. Now, there is a bunch of pillars, and there's pillars for the outside, because it has the height of the wall plus the height of the roof. So there's that. There's short ones. There's ones with one of these pinnacles, and one without the pinnacle, and you can actually add it. These ones are for the interiors, by the way. There's one that is broken because we do have some degree of destruction. We have a hole in the wall. We have felled. I'm not sure, because you can find a felled tree. You cannot find a felled. I'm not sure you could call it a felled column, but that's what it is. It's a fallen. Let's call it fallen. A fallen column. Super proud of these ones. Oh, there is. So since there is those, there's also these ones. There's broken verandas. There's destroyed verandas, and there is all kinds of debris. So there is. So you can actually, since that one has no pinnacle, you can actually have the pinnacle and maybe have it, be destroyed. And there is some debris for you to destroy it. There is some bricks, from or cobblestone, we should call it, for the walls. There's several sizes. There is cemetery signs, one of them with vines. I absolutely loved it. There is another type of column here, which you may think it's similar to these ones, but these ones are tapered. These ones are have the same diameter at the bottom and at the top, and that's for these things. So it comes in in half and a complete and 1/2. And we also have these guys, which, by the way, the reason you have, you can see the backside, even though you can see the backside, even though you have that thing, that's because you can get rid of any of these guys, any of these. Where is it? visible. So yeah, you could just hide it in game or not. You can either destroy them, you can damage them, because there is, where is it? There it is. You can damage them in game if you want to. And there is two types of damage. Or you can even destroy them, because you already have some debris. There's corners, there's straight sections, and that's the version, just the static mesh. There is 3 types of tombs. So there is they all have removable lids. And there is 4 colors of, no, 5 colors of marble. God damn. I was diligent with this one. So there is black marble, there is green marble, there's red marble, there is this yellowed one, and there is this white one. And what you can actually do is make the lids of these things. You can make them in one color and have the thing in other color, you know, whatever. These unfortunately aren't procedural either, but you know, they kind of look cool. These are separate skins, basically. Speaking of skins, these have nothing to do with skins. No, actually they do, because there is a white and a red one. I was trying to make a joke, but that backfired. Yeah, there is actually white, red, and dried. Like maybe you have a forgotten tomb or a forgotten gravestone. You can have one of these. These ones are for funerals. There is like a fallen ribbon, which is a separate actual mesh. These aren't really simulated cloth simulations. These are already like baked in, but still they look super fine. And the new ones, they still have it on it, and the old ones, it's fallen. They come in several versions. Like there is these oval ones, there is these donut ones, or crown I think they are called. Again, this round ones and these ones, and they are both available in white flowers and red flowers, and dried up new ones. There is these ones without the stand, because there's those ones are on a stand. These ones are just like that. There is dried up, there is fresh, there is flowers in vases. There is I think 3 types of, oh actually no, 2 types of vases, I'm sorry, but they come in on the floor or on a wall stand. These ones are for the crypt. I don't know if what these are called. I think they are called memorial walls. I think that's what I call them. Hold on, now I have to know. Where are you? There you are. Memorial wall. Yeah, that's what I call them. Anywho, there is, in case you already had your funeral and they were already cremated, we have urns. We have 4 types of urns, and this one, yes, we do have 4 types. They aren't skins. These are all different meshes. These ones aren't skins either. They are 2 different meshes. They just share they share the same geometry, but they are different meshes with different what do you call it? It's different meshes with different UVs. So that's why they have different skins, let's just call it. There are, since this is an old-timey cemetery, these are old-timey coffins. So we have the dirty one that has been in the ground for a little while, and we have this one that that actually is still old. But I do plan to add a corpse as part, yeah, a dried up corpse, a mummified corpse for this asset pack in the future, though, way in the future. There is also these stands. These are not animated, unfortunately, so this one that is collapsed is already like that, baked in, and this one that isn't collapsed, that you can put your coffin on top of, isn't really how do you call it? Yeah, they are not collapsible. That's what I'm trying to say. We have some hand railings, like for stairs, and we have these ones. These can be like fairly long stairs, except I designed them to be on that little raised platform, so that's why they are so short. However, you can make them as long as you want. It just you're going to have to use a lot of them, because I never designed them to be like for 3 stories or something like that, you know. There is some excavated dirt, because obviously this is a cemetery, so you might as well have like a freshly dug grave, or one where you're still going to throw the coffin into. There is some of this stuff. What do you call it? You know, when you cover the grave. And actually, as you can see, they are all actually what do you call this thing? Blended. They are blended with PDO. We have metal fences. Again, these ones are also like the doors. They just have a proximity sensor. They come in double. There's 2 types of doubles, and there's a single. And these do share mesh. They share the mesh for the doors, but these ones are actually a completely different mesh. This one, even though it looks similar, I think it's a different mesh. Actually, let me have a look. And we are going to find them here at the cemetery. The fences and gates. Fence post. Okay, so we do have yes, there is 2 of them, but these ones are slightly different. They are actually shortened horizontally, because I remember that I used to say exact same mesh, but one of these guys is actually squished just a little bit, because there is less space between these 2 guys than between these 2 guys, because the diameter of the pillar thing. So yeah, there is these guys as well. Right? There's short ones, short fences for... I've seen cemeteries with these things. I don't know why, but that's what they are. This one is completely different from that one, so it's a different mesh. There's small ones. I've seen the not headstones, the tombstones with these short thingies. I don't know what the hell for. I guess to avoid grave robbers, I suppose. I don't know. So, but yeah, they are there. Stairs. Let me see. What am I missing here? And finally, yeah, we do have some decay. So we have, for for forgotten graves, we have. Oh, actually, there it is. There is the fog. It's just hard to see because there's so much light here. Yeah, so there is several types of cobwebs. There is sheet cobwebs, which are these ones and those ones, and there is these ones that I forgot the types of cobweb there exist, but I know there's these ones that are like strands that go side to side to side. And there's these ones that look a little bit too chaotic. So yeah, I know these ones are called sheet cobwebs, and these ones I forgot the name. So there's side to side, there's floor to wall, there's ceiling to wall, so on and so forth. There's hanging ones. And they all look fairly realistic in my opinion. And we also have several types of dirt. I actually made these for the, so you can see them better. They're huge, but you may want to make them smaller. I just made them here massive so you can look at them. There are some leaks, some rust leaks, which I'm pretty proud of. There are some dirt leaks and dirt splotches. And that's it. That's all it comes with. Oh, and obviously the leaves and the fog, which the fog is new. That's a new addition. And well, yeah, I will be adding new stuff in the coming months, probably years, because I still need to get different asset packs updated. I need to make new asset packs. So yeah, the asset packs that sell the best are going to get the most updates. So yeah, since this one was selling fairly well, I decided to add the fog. And let's do some let's teach you how to use some of these things. I'm pretty sure you already know how to use foliage, and if you don't, I mean, that's like one of the most simple skills in Unreal Engine. So yeah, if you are going to be using these guys, by the way, as foliage, which is what I did, make sure you you disable the random the random the random rotation, because that one was kind of a problem last time. Like, I kept changing things and I would leave the program and then come back, and then the headstones would be, like in a very odd angle, and I was like, why is this happening? And I would check the entire cemetery and everything would be out of place. Everything would be rotated into a wall, rotated into each other. They would just look terrible. And that was it. They were the random rotation, random Z rotation was on. So if you're going to use the headstones in a setting of if you're going to be using them as foliage, just make sure they don't, they are not randomly rotated in every which way, because even though you can place them and then, you know, give them the right rotation that you want them to be in, when you come back, they are going to just be rotated randomly. So for these ones, you want some degree of control. That's all I'm saying. And if you're not going to be adding that many gravestones, just, you know, add them as static meshes. You lose nothing. But for me, it made more sense to add them, since I was going to add so many of them. I just decided to add them as foliage. I don't know if that was a good decision, but that's what I did. Moving on. Yeah, we do have these ones. These ones can actually be rotated randomly. And there is like several different levels, and you want to be adding these ones for areas where there is some heavy grass. You know, these ones you want them some heavy grass. These ones you want, so those ones would be these ones. These ones you want to be adding in areas where there is less grass, and these ones where there is barely no grass. So I made them in different densities, so you can add some of them where there is tons of grass and some of them where there is too little grass. So everything is thought out. Another thing is these ones. These grass clumps. You could realistically, along with where are they? Yeah, no, it's these ones. So these ones, these are designed to, if you want to, you could, because there is, yeah, you could do that. You could actually put them in the middle of these ones, and they look really cool. Like, they look like, you know, like more variation. But the specific reason why I created these ones are to blend the trees, basically. And it's super sneaky, by the way. But since we have roots, which I don't know if you can see them. Actually, let me hide the entire floor. There is root systems. And these kind of like give the trees some really nice realism, because you can actually you know, you can do that, and that gives them, not only does it give it variance, but yeah, it gives it a little bit more realism. But sometimes these roots kind of look like, part of it looks really nice and really cool and really fantastic, even with the, or rather not despite, but in spite, or yeah, in spite of the blending of the virtual textures and the PDO blending. But also sometimes some parts kind of look out of place, and this just gives it that right blending. Like, let me just show you, because otherwise I'm just not gonna finish explaining. Let's look for there it is. See, these areas kind of looked kind of weird, but the little grass clumps really carried over. See, just really nice. Where is it? There you go. See, just gives it that one little bit of, because here, for example, there was a little bit of a harsh line. You can break those harsh lines with some of the weeds and some of the grass clumps, and those are actually really nice ways of breaking up those little harsh lines, and also uh, for even more realism, because that's where the little seedlings and seeds of those plants end up, because they smash into the tree. The wind takes them away, whoosh, and they smash into the tree and fall, and obviously that's where they end up. So just uh, observation. You should, at the end of the day, you should take look at pictures of cemeteries and see where the grass clumps are, and so on and so forth. But let's just move on, because there's a lot of stuff to cover still. Now there's these small ones, and these very small ones are for between these parts. Like, for example, here, these dark areas, that's where seedlings would, grass seeds would land, and they would just come out of these places, or between these two tiles, between those slabs, let's call them. They would land there. And even on rooftops, sometimes some roofs may end up with seeds that flew all the way from the ground, and they landed here in spaces. Really cool. Here, for example, also these areas would end up with a little bit of seeds. This one sometimes also end up, these weeds also end up in areas, for example, in statues, or these guys. But yeah, generally I designed them to be around trees, mostly for blending, like I said, to break up those lines, but also for realism, because that's, like I said, that's where those little plants end up. These can be in the middle of grass. They could be growing around graves. If you noticed while I was showing you those earlier, that's where I put most of those, around graves. They also would grow there and there and there. Usually on the corners, like that's where the little seeds get cut up. And speaking of stuff growing on graves and statues as well, these guys, the ivies, these tend to be localized. I am guessing that it happens same as the little seedlings that smash into the trees and grow on the sides. I'm pretty sure that's what happens with these guys too. So if you have one of these graves with this, chances are you're going to find some more around those. So that helps a lot. Same with that's what I did in the sample level. Like, there is one of these graves covered in ivy, and it's next to a wall covered in ivy, and that wall is nearby one of these covered in ivy. Where is it? I kind of lost it. Oh my god, it's not there. There it is. Right, so one of these covered in ivy. So yeah, just make sure it's all congruent. If there is ivy in one place, don't make it like here ivy and then all the way over there ivy and then all the way over there. It's not peppered. It's mostly localized. So if there is here, there should be around some more, because that's where the little seedlings ended up. Now let's take a look at the where are they? fences and gates. So we have several types of fences, and you'll see there is how many? 22. Oh Jesus, I'm not gonna be a happy camper today. Actually, we need to turn on the everything here. By the way, in this asset pack is it's modular, so you need to have to have this snapping turned on, otherwise it will not work. So here's one. What I like to do is, rather than just keep trying to doing that, that helps when you're looking at here and you suddenly need to find something. You're like, okay, so what is this called? What is this? Like SM fence 2. Okay, cool. SM, you write there SM fence 2 and you'll find it immediately. However, what really helps me to create worlds is to just Alt and then drag, and then that just duplicates it. The problem is that if we want to add one of these guys, right there, even though this is a corner, they are just going to be named as the other instances. For me, this is, I mean, that's part of that's the risk I'm taking, and I'm always been able to find the one that I'm looking for. But for you, I don't know what's best. I'm just telling you this is what works for me. So there's two types of fences. So there's that one. There is what was that? The front one. There's two. So they are actually, you can't even tell there, but they are slightly different, right? So that's one. There is two, and if you're looking at them side by side, just for it's gonna be really hard to tell because they are so skinny. But yeah, they are going to be a little bit. With two of them, you're not going to be able to tell they are being repeated. And even though there's only two of these guys, there's some of them that are damaged. So yeah, you can actually replace them, and they are labeled as DMG, so damage. Some of them have bent spires, some of them have bent bars, so on and so forth. There, you'll notice also that there is several corners, and we have A, B, C, and D, and that's because some of these corners they end in bar, and some of them start with short bar. So that's corner A. Now look at corner B. See? Now it starts here with one of the short ones, and it ends with another short one. And sometimes maybe you want it to start here with a long one and here with a short one, but now they are like does not match. So that's why we have those. So damn it. I like to have these in angles of 90 degrees. So we're going to use that, and then that, and then doot, and sabadibi doot, right? So now we have two, and that doesn't look really, really good. So now we have two of these guys, and look at that, they are intersecting. But on this side, that looks fine, right? So now you just need to look which one. Okay, so that's still not it. Let's see if B. No, that side looks fine, but this one doesn't. So now let's look at A. And that's your answer. Number number A. Letter A is the one that works. So yeah, that's why we have several fences. Several corners. We have several with damage, And we also have, actually, there, let's leave it there. We also have the posts. Obviously, if you have the same problem with the as with the corners, where oh no, it doesn't match anymore. Well, what you can do actually is, what is this? X-axis, you know, select that, and then press minus, and there you go. Now you can now it matches. So works both ways. Doesn't, like with this ones, doesn't work like that because you may, you know, may look weird, but with this one, yeah, you can totally do that. Now, whoops, I shouldn't delete that one. There's also these ones, but they are already assembled here. Fences and gates. These guys, you should again check them over there because they are already assembled. Or you can assemble them yourself if you want. In my case, I'm lazy like that. These guys are already assembled, like I said, and same laws apply for the corner ones, but for the corner ones, for the small ones, yeah, it's, I think I didn't have like a smaller version. I thought that was a little bit of a waste. In any case, if you really want to focus so much on the small ones and they are like, oh no, it doesn't look right to me, you could actually just do that. At the end of the day, I mean, it's almost what I did there, except there is some, you know, there's some tiny little differences. There's also the small one. With this one, it is kind of a little bit specialized. I don't remember if I gave it its own UVs. I don't remember. But yeah, that's the fences and gates for you. There is the dirt. Obviously, you need to make a hole. And this, it's a little bit tricky. So let me take you back to the cemetery level. Let's not save that. Let's take you back to the cemetery level. And we do have an open grave, except what we did here, you're gonna have to look for some tutorial because I don't remember exactly how I made it work. You do need some trickery there, but you go here to the landscape, and in the landscape, and I think the sculpture, one of these guys is whole. Not smooth erase. I forgot which one it's a hole, but yeah. Unfortunately, this doesn't work the way I would wish, that where I could just make a tiny hole. You actually need to make a hole in the mesh, and there is a tool here for that. I forgot how to do that. But yeah, it's an actual hole in the mesh rather than a depression, because there is a limit to how small you can make a depression on this thing, like a valley. So yeah, I forgot, but just know that that's how I made it. I didn't really make it like with a scald and then negative and then just a depression. I actually made a hole in the mesh. So that's how this is done. And that's one thing that you should keep in mind. That if you have, where is it? Right. If you have one of these guys, you actually need to make a hole in the mesh. And in this case, what I did was just, you know, made a hole. So something similar, but on your landscape. Okay, so that's how you use the dirt. And obviously there is just super simple. And these ones are also blended. So the PDO, you can actually make it higher or lower. Oh, POM, I'm sorry. The walls have POM, not PDO. I messed up that word. Okay, so that's the dirt, that's fences and gates. There's the funeral stuff, which you already saw. It's just super simple static meshes. You know, there's nothing to it. Nothing crazy, at least. Like I showed you, you can make these, you know, use them as meshes, like what I'm doing here, or you can actually just use them as what do you call those things? You can just use them as foliage, whatever the case is. I already explained how to use them. Just remember to not have them turn randomly on Z. The sign, you know, there's version with the, actually no, there's not a version. I think that's, oh no, there's a version, never mind. Okay, so yeah, there's a version with Ivy. The concrete walls, or rather concrete fences, I don't know what to call them. These guys, they follow the exact same pattern as with the fences. You know, there's A, B, C, and D. This same thing. You know, like there is, they are. Sometimes they start with a pillar. Sometimes they start with one of these. Yeah, super simple. This one, there is an already assembled version here in blueprints. We'll check out the blueprints just a little bit. So that's the cemetery part. There's the cobwebs, you already saw them. Now a little trick for the cobwebs, because they are so hard to see, right? So you can barely see what the hell you're doing. So what you want to do is come here to the material, and you want to take off the mask. And now you can see you can see the cobweb in all its glory, and now you can manipulate and you can put it over there, and you actually, there's two of them. There is two materials, one for the sheet cobwebs and one for the other one. So just know that that's how you edit them. For the crypt, there's two types of crypt. Obviously there's this one, which is very similar, if not the same as a tombstone. So just a big ass tombstone, just one large tombstone. There is architecture, so these ones are fairly complicated to use, but, or rather fairly simple, but they look complicated. I'll explain. So to do this thing, we're going to actually start with the walls, and we are going to start with just a naked wall. So this, in this case, I put the pivot point in the center. I could have put it on the side, but yeah, it doesn't make much of a difference when you know you can just move it 100 or 50 on real units. In this case, I like to have it fairly low compared to the size of the wall, so that would be 50 units. And yeah, let's just unfortunately the smallest you can have it at is around 200 on real units, I think. Yeah, I'm actually, or is it 300? Yeah, it's 300. I'm sorry. Actually, no, 400. Duh. Yeah, 400 on real units. So you can actually move it at 100. I like to keep it fairly low, like I said, at 50 on real units. And oh, I think I messed up. Yeah, see, this is why. Yeah. Oops. Okay. That's one. That's another one. So this is the smallest you can ever have something done with these assets. So that's specifically 400 units, 400 unreal units by side. So let's take one of the walls and yeah, let's have, oh, actually no, never mind, you need one of these guys. Single or double, what do you think? Let's go with double. So let's delete one of these guys. Okay, right, there we go. So we are using one of these guys, double wall, excuse me, double door, duh. So the walls, maybe perhaps a couple of windows on each side and one window on the back, right? Cool. And now we want some roof. Since this is already pretty equipped, let's just add a is this? Yeah, cool. Fantastic. Now we're adding one of these spires, right? And we want ceiling arches. And let's add windows to the sides, but first we're going to just use a normal wall, right? So we got the oops, that's bad. Okay, is this the right one? Yes, it is. Cool. So let's just move it on like that. And you know what? Since I am lazy, let's just go and copy and move it on, right? And these two, we are going to just add the window. There we go. Windows. What else? We need columns, so do we want a pine cone at the top, or pinnacle, what it's actually called? Let's just go with the normal one. And in this case, these could work for the side, like if you have if you have it like this, so one next to the other, right? If you have it like this, this could work as a divisory wall, excuse me, divisory thingy. I don't know what it's called. You could have it like that, You have two. But in this case, we're going to rotate it 45 degrees. So 45 and bam. And it's looking fantastic. So this would be 90. And because I am lazy, like I said, this would be 180 actually. Whoopsie daisy. Okay. And now bam, bam, and it's done. And because these look fairly empty like that, what we could do is take the pine one and it's done. That's it. Super easy, super simple, super nice, super I guess. Now let's get back to the 90 degrees. Right, so we get this, bam. Let's actually move these two. Let's scooch them over. These two, let's actually do that as well, right? So now we extended, and instead of this, right, we use that one, and same with this one. Let's just, and here, why not? Let's just use one of the try window, and this one again. Do we want to, you know what, I am lazy like I said, and let's use this one rather than the pine one, because let's reserve those for the right, 180 degrees. Let's move it there, and that one and that one, let's just move it like that. And in this case, why not? Where are we? Let's just use the one without a spire, because two spires that close look kind of weird. And here in the middle, because it already looks okay, but it doesn't look fine. So we're going to take it like that, and we're going to use the ceiling union. There we go. And here in the middle, you can see that horrible gap where we just, what we did was just do that. And then here in ceiling arches, we can use either one of those. So we're just going to use number one. And now we have a division there. And now here in the middle, now there is a problem because we don't have any columns. So we're going to use one of these guys. And you'll see that this is not a halved one. This is a complete one. But it's designed in such a way that you can use the whole thing. I know it would be super cheaper to just, because now you have like two of them, like you can't even see the back of it and it's still there. But because of that, I would have to make a half and a quarter, because we still have those sides. So what I did is just make one and make these thick enough for you to just use it like that, you know. So those two, they just could, it's just not worth it. And you can use it like that, or you could just rotate it. Where are you? Rotate it 45 degrees. There you go. Both ways it works fantastic. I personally like it like that, but who knows? And you can just take that. And the cool part is you don't even have to rotate them, because they still work like that, right? In each one you're getting the different side. There you go, it's done. Now for the, if you want to have, because you already saw where I used them for, We do have a memorial wall, right? So it should be... it's not in foliage, definitely. Gaze platform. I forgot where I... It should be in cemetery. Duh. Wait, no, it's not. Pre-assembled. I know they are in architecture, because they are right here. But I forgot. Actually, we don't even have to. Bam. Oh, it's in tombs. I'm sorry. It's been a while since I made it. So, first of all, we obviously wouldn't be able to see these guys if we had a memorial wall there. So let's just have this one like that. There's that, right? And instead of this one, we're just going to delete it. We are going to use a divisory wall because, oops, there we go. It already has its arch there, and let's just move it to the side, right? Okay, cool. And that's it. We're done. Now, that's not all of it. Let's just delete them all again. What is that? Am I... Oh, oops. So glad I didn't forget that one. Okay, so let's go back to architecture. So we have this thing, and we have that one. So you could actually do that, right? And here in the empty space, that's where we use the column for, but we don't use that one. I forgot where we have the other one. Walls. Oh, it should be in... actually, it's gonna be fairly easy. There they are. Yeah, pillar full, pillar half. I feel like here it would be far easier to just use the halved one, because we're never going to see the other side, so why even bother? So if you want a bigger, one of these, and now we're going to just use architecture. I feel like it would be fine for a divisory one, so you can either use that or that, and then this, and then that. That still kind of works. Not fantastically, but it still does. So you got options is what I'm trying to say. Okay. Unfortunately, ideally, I don't know how to pronounce that. You should use that. And then that. But again, it's all up to you, depending on how you plan to use this thing and what is outside this thing, because obviously it's not on its own, so it's not like this is all there is, unless that's what you want to do, in which case that's fine. So yeah, you got options. You can just assemble as you want. And obviously, you can always do this. There you go. You can do that. Ceiling arches. actually no, that's wrong. You can do that. Sorry. And then here in where are we? Stone walls. No, it should be. I forgot where I put it. I'm sorry, I'm super tired. Well, no fear. Since I always forget, oh, it's in tombs. Duh. Okay, yeah, so you can do that. That works as well. Again, it depends very much on how you want to use them. Obviously, these ones are super simple. You do need to make a hole, which is what I did in the... I don't really want to go there, but yeah, that's just, trust me, that's what I did. And on top of that, there you go. And that's it. Super easy, super simple. I made them in such a way where you could just take that, and they share the same pivot point, and you can just assemble them easier. But it may be a problem with physics, where the rotation of the physics may actually be taking into account the pivot point. I haven't done the test. In fact, actually, the simulate physics, this is just not gonna move anywhere. So, okay, time for the truth, right? Okay, that actually worked. I was not expecting that, because in Blender, if you simulate physics and your actual pivot point is kind of offset like here, it would actually make the thing pivot around that pivot point while it's simulating physics, and it just looks super freaking weird, and it breaks the whole simulation. So, but no, here actually it works fine. Okay, moving on. We got the headstones, the sign, the stone walls. We already tested those. The cobwebs, I already taught how to use the cobwebs. The architecture, the ceilings and arches, we already done that. These ones, we already done that. This one, I mean, I don't think I need to just explain. What you can do actually is, like, for example, let's say like that, and you simulate physics for both, right? And once you get the position that you actually like, what you do is press K, and it saves the position for both of them. And now you finish or cancel whatever the simulation, and they are already taken that position. And that's what you actually do with many of these guys, which I like to do this, right? You take them all. They all are sharing the same pivot point, and they are sharing the same space. You simulate physics, and watch what happens. They explode. Like, for this doesn't kind of work, because you end up with some, like, a weird thing. So what you better can do here is let's use that and that and then that, provided there isn't a ceiling there. So what you can do is this, and then that, and hopefully, right, you have them, you get them selected, you simulate physics on all of them, and now that kind of looks realistic. Or you can stop snapping, maybe move this a little bit higher. Make sure there's nothing on top, right? And just to make sure, because I don't remember, I've done this, I think a year long player collision. Yeah, they aren't intersecting, because when they are intersecting, that's when they explode. Since they are not intersecting, let's select them again, simulate physics, Alt S if you don't remember, and bam. Oof. Okay, that didn't work the way I expected. Okay, so we're gonna stop. We're gonna stop snapping this thing, and you just slightly angle it, just not too much, just slightly angle it, so you let physics do their thing. And there we go, that looks far better. Let's just make it 1000 kilograms. Okay, that looks far more real. And if we want something a little bit more as what you would expect, because yeah, that was realistic, but the way we actually expected to see is, ooh, that was bad. Okay, let's not do that. Hold on. Oh my god, that's so annoying. Okay, and then that should be moved that way. Oh, because they are right. Yeah. Okay, cool. So now, there you go. Or you can just, you know, you can just do that, and that should actually work the way we wanted it to. Regardless, that's one option. But here, watch what happens when you go here to where are you? Debris, and we take the irregular debris, not the bricks, the irregular debris. There's several sizes. We'll just take the whole thing. They are all sharing the same space. We simulate physics, and then we do this, and then they explode. And then we press K, and it's all done. You get this nice debris field, and it looks realistic, it looks cool, it looks fantastic. And same with the bricks. That's what I did for that. Whoopsie daisy. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, we don't want that. Okay, cool. So now we take the bricks, we import them, we simulate physics. Bam. And the higher you put them, the bigger the explosion. If you put them almost at ground level, obviously if you have walls around it, like the little chapel I made, they would bounce off the walls and yeah, create some nice debris field. Moving on, the decoration, I already told you how to use that, but just to refresh your memory, just take the niche empty. Actually, we need them to be that, okay. Use the niche empty, the decoration, and then you either use Mother Teresa, which, no kidding, that's exactly what I called her, right? They are basically just sharing the exact same pivot point as the walls, so there's no missing there. Or you use Jeffrey Dahmer. Yes, that is what I called him. Or you can use this one. Oh, damn it. Okay, you can use this one, which is just a blind version. really nice. The floors and ceilings are pretty much cut and dry. And this works with the trims for the sides of the platforms, which we will get to in a little bit. Same thing with the floor, but you can also use this as a material, which you can find ground floors, and you can use that over any brush, which is what I did. Now the platform is fairly simple, same as with the walls, you get that. But here you have a corner, right? And you have a side. Here you have it like that because you also have the trims from where are you? Okay, so yeah, you use ceilings and arches. Yeah, you use one of these guys. You can use one of these guys. Or something else. The gate, floors and ceilings. Let's just use that. Ceiling roof. This one is suspended. Oops. I actually forgot which one, why I'm using that one, those ones. Why I created, because they work fine. I just forgot. Let's see how I use them actually. And yeah, so we got these guys. We got the hand railings. Yeah, so that's what covers the broken area. Or you know, if you don't like that, you can always do that. Not that much actually. Let's do that. Yeah, you can always do that. But here's how I use them, right? So those are the corner sides. This is the top one. This one is actually a little smaller. This ones are full size, 0.75, so that's 3/4 of the actual size. Or you can have them full size, depending of what you're using them for. Like if it's full size, you may not want, oops, I actually don't want that. If it's full size, actually, yeah, they go over this thing. So that looks fairly okay. But yeah. And again, as you can see, look where I'm using these guys. The grass clumps. They are being used to see? They're being used to you can see there, they are being used to blend the sides of this thing. Super cool. Let's go back there, don't save. Let's go here. So moving on, that's how the platforms are being used in combination with the floors and ceilings. This one is already pre-assembled, so this one is actually using the exact same things that you just saw me use, except smaller, and they are already on a single platform. So they are, I think, on a 150. In fact, let me do the test. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Oh, okay, so 300 on real units. I thought it was 150. Alright, so here you already saw you can have a flat version. Instead of this, you can just use a platform to cover. I forgot to actually mention that. So, not a divisory, a naked wall. Yeah, just normal wall. And right. Floors and ceilings, columns. Oh, this is where we use the shorter ones, shorter versions, right? We are going to be using the 45 degree, 90, right? And this is where we use the platform, not the platform, the roofs, the trim sheet, right? Oops, that's the wrong one. There we go. This is where we use that thing, right? Okay, we just want to actually, it's the wrong one. Okay, so this is where we use the that, and then move it there, move it there. Super quick, I love it. This is the kind of stuff that I love to work with. Because it just, all you have to do is, whoops. Yes, all you have to do is, whoops. No, all you have to do is just place them where they are and they just snap into place. How blessed is that? And now we just need floors and ceilings, ceiling roof. Whoops. Right. So now we just move this into position. Actually, it's a little bit too high, so let's just... Right, that's perfect. And now we take that. Then we take that. That's it. That's all you have to do. So that's what the ceiling roof is for, and here underneath we do have some semblance of a roof, and just so it's not like that, we cover those holes with the columns, which we have right here. With the pillar 1, we might as well not even need to rotate anything, because just moving it, there you go. And you're, with each one, you're showing one side of the thing. There you go. Oh, and you can even take that and use, where are the gates? There are the gates. Let's use one of these huge ones. There, it's done. It can be either a chapel or a thing, and we can come here to stairs and railings. There's an end, there's a start, and unfortunately this one is going to be a little bit harder to do because they are so short. They are designed to just work on those platforms you saw, right? So now this is going to be a little bit of a chore, right? 10, 10, 10, 10. Actually, we should delete the last one. The top one, we're going to use the end. And in some parts they may be a little bit mismatching, so you can just do that and move it along like that. And perhaps just like I said, they were never designed to do that, but we're doing it, we're using them that way anyway, so there you go. And obviously if we had some semblance of a railing here on top, we could just use that. We could just, oops, that wouldn't work like that. We could just use that. Provided we have actually those things are wherever they need to be. And since we actually shrunk this thing, we need to copy that to this thing. Ideally you wouldn't do that kind of thing, because now, see, so it's easier to just go 1 and 1. Oh, actually it's mismatching. There you go. You could do that for the other side, and whoops, there you go. So yeah, that's how you would use it. Obviously this would be also like that, and so on and so forth, because we already moved it out of sync. Oh my god, this is so annoying. Okay, we gotta start over. Okay, so that's the first one. Bam. Second one. Bam. And now they are where they are meant to be, or we can do that. Like I said, it was never meant to do that. Whoops. These are in case you just want one side, so that's what they are for. But yeah, this one don't work very well. Okay, so we have the cap for the end and the cap for the start. This may be for the start. Excuse me, for the end. Anyway, yeah. Regardless, we would just use that, and where are you? There you go. This is how you would use them. That's the end. There you go. That's how you would use them. Those are the front ones, those are the back ones. If you don't want to connect them, if you do want to connect them, what you do is use one of these. And that, you put one of these guys. And this one's unlike the iron fences and all that stuff. These guys, you know, they look good front to back. Oh my god, I forgot to change it to, there you go. There you go. So yeah, there's that, and then there is, there's a corner. There you go. Actually, this is the inner. I messed up. This should be the outer. There you go. That's the outer. Bam. And now the inner, you need to use this one. Yeah, that's what's up. That's how you use them. Super simple, super easy. And there is also damaged one. So there is, for the inner, damaged one, the outer, and the regular ones. So it could be like that, or it could be like that, depending. And if you are using them like side by side, you can have that one and this one, and it looks like there is a hole there. Your mind fills up the blanks. Right, what else do we have? Floor, ceilings, gates, we already used those. The platform, we already built one. The pre-assembled, the roofs, done. Maybe one thing that you should know about the roofs is that it has several, actually, let me show you. It has several materials, even though they are using some of the same one. Okay, so we're gonna start isolating so you know what materials they are being used. So first of all, we have the main body. And now it gets tricky because we have the windows material, which it does need a special material just for those, because we got that one. We have the actual windows, but they only have like the outside, and we have the other one that is only the outside, the inside. So first of all, this one has a very special material, where one of it is like the spiral blur and all that stuff, and the other one is the metallic like the rims, I don't know, the unions between the pieces of glass. That's what this is. However, this one, it's a separate one, and it's just regular masked glass, and it's just so it can work like that. And this one has some of that sweet spiral glass, like frosted glass effect, but here inside you can barely see anything. So what you're seeing is a very crappy version of what it is, and it's just subsurface and that's it. Because you, like I said, you can barely see anything. If you had the same one, if you had that one and this one in the same one, unfortunately, because of how Unreal Engine renders those what are you call them? Those translucency shaders, those translucency materials, you would start seeing these guys through these ones, and that looks terrible. And it took me a while to figure out how to tackle that. And as I was tackling that problem, I decided, you know what? On top of that, what we could do is actually make those, the ones that are inside, slightly cheaper than the ones that are here outside. So as you can see, the ones inside are super cheap. These are basically just what do you call those things? They are basically foliage material, I think, almost. And these ones outside, which is what we mostly see, because they are easier to see than these ones, we can see them very well. So yeah, it's very thought out. Again, we already used all the walls, so you know how to use them. The doors, they are already assembled, so we don't need to look at those. The railings, I already taught you how to use them. The tombs, we just used them. The debris, also. The foliage, you already showed you. The lights, okay, so that requires a little bit of an explanation. Like I said earlier, selecting one of those and having this selected, you will see the enabled switch, and you can either enable them through a blueprint, like something casting or calling them, and just, you know, enabling them like that. There's two variants, by the way. There's two variants. And there's one candle operated and there's one light bulb operated, which is what you're seeing here. One of them is slightly brighter than the other, but you know, you can have them in any other way. It's not really a thing. The light bulb is, for cheapness sake, is just a masked material. It's not really that complex. Just kind of like gives you the illusion. I could have used a translucency material with a little bit of a cool, what do you call that thing? Refraction, but that would be such a waste since it was going to be inside, and on top of that you already have the bad material on the outside. So yeah, it would have been kind of a waste. There's two candles which we are using here, and in these guys which are shown at the funeral. And we have an oil lantern used by the dude digging the graves, or lady. I'm not judging. So those are most of the meshes, or all of the meshes. Super simple. As you can see, there is also some minutiae with the materials, but it's just really not that crazy. Like maybe I should like give you a little bit of a tour here, but we don't really need to. It's kind of a little bit of a simple, there we go. So we have some wind on the trees, and some of these do have like a special shader for the wind, depending on what it is. Like, for example, the grass has slightly different shader, but they all share the same thing, which you will find here. Where are you? Foliage. Here in the foliage, we have global wind parameter, and you can actually pick the direction of the wind, which is going to be a vector 2. And right now it's just pointing, it's either green or red, and one of them points to one side, the other one points to the other side. So you can do that. Or it's either -1 or it's 1, and here it's -1 to 1. So green. So if you do that, it points in the other direction. So just so you know how that works, how the wind works, this I'm realizing you're not seeing it, and this is the wind power. So let's just go crazy insane, right? You see where it's pointing now. Now 1, there you go. That's the other side completely, and 0, it's actually not doing anything. It's pointing downwards. Okay, there you go. So red is obviously x-axis, minus red is the other side. Again, the green is this side, so that would be the y-axis, or we can use minus green, the other side, 0, 1. And the power of the wind, we obviously, right? So this is how powerful the wind is. You can also do inverse, so depends on how you want to use it, the wind, and that affects every single thing. That's why it's global wind. And like I said, they do have slightly different shaders for some of the wind. So in some cases there is all this complex node tree, and in some cases just very simple node setup, because we don't need it to just wobble so much. They all share a global MIP bias, so if you change this MIP value, so MIP as in MIP map, right now it has -2, you can have it at -1, whatever works for you. And some of these guys, specifically the trees, because of the roots, they do have some parameters in RVT, so virtual textures. And I don't really want to make a fool out of myself explaining what virtual textures are. I don't fully understand that, but if you do, I just know that virtual textures are help things blend with another things, especially the trees. Let's go to levels. Let's go to level sanitary, blah blah blah. Yeah, so here's a good example. So what the virtual textures do is they take the base texture that we have here on the landscape, and it projects it on top of the root. And the parts that do intersect, I don't know if we can, yeah, there we go. We're gonna have to actually, because these are foliage and I don't want to mess with the foliage right now. So let's just, instead of using the foliage, let's just add this one, for example. That's a good example. So the parts that are slightly intersecting with the landscape, as you can see, they are mixing there. And that's only the top ones, the top textures, because the ones that are on the side, they are not getting some of that. So there is two factors. There is the PDO, so the pixel depth offset, that gets more transparent as more of it intersects with another geometry. And then there is the RVT, which is the real-time no, excuse me, the virtual textures. They project the floor, like for example here. Oh, you can actually see it move. See there? It's projecting on top of the tree geometry. So there's those two factors, and like I said, I don't want to make a fool out of myself trying to explain how that works. I just know it does. I actually saw it in a tutorial. What my expertise is doing these graphics. So yeah, I'm not so great with node setups and all this blueprint stuff. I just know how to make things look pretty. That's all I do. So that's what this is for. If you are not sure how real-time virtual textures work, you should check out a tutorial. There is a ton of tutorials on YouTube, and there is also troubleshooting for virtual textures, which that is not part of the scope of this project. Those you should research on your own, because that's part of your project. I do have partly support on this thing, and also we are going to have like a small foray into the painting or the landscape again, to know how to actually, that's the strength, that's the radius, to know how to actually do this properly, how to set this up. You're going to have to look for tutorials for that. I just provide the graphics. So once you set up your virtual textures and your landscape, you're going to have to actually, where are we? You're going to have to select the target layers and the one that you're going to be painting. So we have, like I said earlier, we have dead grass, we have dirt, and we have dirt 1, and we have dirt path. So what are these? So this is the dirt one. Okay, can you see? Strength, let's just use full strength. That's just the regular dirt. There we have dirt 2. Dirt 2 is the forest debris I told you about. Can you see? This looks far better around the trees, so that's where we have it, as you can see. Then where do we have an empty space? Yeah, there. That would be fine. So there's where we have the forest debris, which we are using near the trees. and the regular dirt, which, whoops, regular dirt, which it has just a tiny bit of debris, of forest debris. Then there's the dead grass, which this is great for to put underneath the actual grass. Because if you have the actual grass, the geometry grass, disappear in the distance, you still have something to be seen below that grass. Because if it just disappears and there's dirt, you're going to be seeing some just dirt. But if you still have some grass there and you disappear into the distance, you're still gonna see something. And then finally we have the dirt path, which has no debris because there's, you know, people have been walking on it and there is some erosion, right? So that's what we got here. And I'm using it here on the dirt paths, like there and there and there. And yeah. Obviously I put grass, like thinning grass. Remember the one I told you? The thinning grass, then the thick grass all over there, blah, blah, blah. As you can see, it goes hard, it goes ham there. In just these areas. So that's how these guys work. Please forgive the lack of explanation of how to set up the layers and the virtual textures and the landscape, but first of all, I trust that you already know how to do that, and second of all, I feel like I would confuse you more because I don't understand it well. I struggled putting that here on this thing. So I feel like I would confuse you more if I try to explain to you how I set it up myself. So I would prefer that you look at an actual tutorial that is made by people who actually understand that. I'm just teaching you how to use my own, you know, what comes in my actual asset pack. So how to use the assets, as it were. Right. But yeah, that would be all for today. Wow, that was a long one. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very, very, very much for watching. Thank you very much for your time. And also, thank you very much for purchasing this asset pack. And I will see you in the next one.